Just to extend kind of the thoughts that Glenn was talking about at Ohio State, you probably saw something in the ALME or the CDME center discussion that might resonate with you. That's a light weighting or welding technology or something. Unfortunately, universities don't do a really good job of talking about their very specific technologies. If you look at the engineering at Ohio State, it'll talk about mechanical engineering, integrated systems engineering, which are the programs. Those are the academic programs, and you can generally imagine what type of engineer you're going to get out of that program, but you really don't see in this publication or this profile, what are they actually doing in the labs? What are they doing for industry? And just the last couple slides I'm going to share today are about that kind of translational responsibility that we have to take what's in the university and extend it out to manufacturing, so that it actually is in the area that you have that you are working in manufacturing. And so this is a kind of an extension of what Glenn said. These are the 4 focus areas in the College of Engineering: advanced materials and manufacturing, energy, environment, sustainability, power and propulsion, sensors and sensor systems. Again, I'm from Honda and I'm industry focused, and it's hard pressed to find this type of detail. So we need a service, or OSU has services to extend this out. And I'd like to maybe highlight the advanced materials and manufacturing area, because that's where most of the people that came today are involved in. All of our College of Engineering programs, there's 16 programs in 11 different schools, have materials characterization. They have computational modeling, which I assume you guys all know that your companies are getting into that or will be getting into that. Metals and forming, as Glenn mentioned, corrosions and coating, Glenn mentioned, composites, injection molding, joining and welding. We're right next to EWI. We have a welding engineering program that sits right next to the welding application, applied engineering. And then manufacturing, micro machining, integrated systems, that's your industrial engineers come out of that. So this is the type of information we're trying to make available, and to maybe break down the barrier where a manufacturer like, well, I think Ohio State has that type of equipment or that type of lab or that type of institute, but I'm not really sure. So this forum is a way to extend that out or maybe communicate that. Another barrier or another area that we at Ohio State have tried to, I guess, bridge that gap is the Ohio Manufacturing Institute, which I represent, as well as Catherine, who's here today. And we're trying to take the technical resources of Ohio State, make them apparent and easily available to manufacturers for economic development, not specifically for experiential learning or not specifically for fundamental research, but economic development of the manufacturers in Ohio. And we do that by providing cost-effective mechanisms for applied engineering, development, testing, manufacturing process support in these type of technical services area. And I'm just going to cover the one here, engineering services. This is what we spend most of our time doing, which is kind of a translational activity that we do inside the College of Engineering, where we help manufacturers support them with engineering services in testing, design, material analysis, trial parts production. Maybe they have a new technology that they want to know a little bit more about. We'll have students actually do a document search or look at what the research has been done in this area. If we go forward with the engineering service contract, we actually can deploy a contract, a very simple contract that doesn't talk a lot about IP and things that have been barriers in the past. Turn that around in 24 hours and start to work on the projects. And most of the projects, they'll go from $300 on up to maybe $20,000. It's basically just what the engineering service that manufacturer needs. And we leverage the faculty expertise that's there, the labs and equipment that many times are sitting idle in between classes or in between research projects. Many times the equipment is the same equipment that you have on your plant floor, and maybe yours is full and you need to run prototypes or run a new material or something. This is sitting at Ohio State in a very large campus, and Ohio Manufacturing Institute can connect you with that, make a proposal for an engineering service, and you can decide whether it makes sense to do that. We'll use faculty, we'll use students, other researchers, and it's experiential learning for students when the students are involved in that. Primarily, we're trying to give quick access to the technical resources at the speed of business, the problem solving and technical solutions delivered at the speed of business. So that's just a quick snapshot. There's a brochure or a two-page or two-sided flyer in there for OMI if you have any questions. There's also a flyer in there for the ILO, or the Industrial Liaison Office. They look at industry partnerships across the whole university. So if you're interested in internships or students or putting a sign on the stadium or whatever, that ILO is a great place to start. If you have a very specific manufacturing service need, don't hesitate to contact Catherine and myself for that. And then so finally, this is the landscape I started with. Hopefully you've seen some good examples across the spectrum. Our goal is really to make these entities that are down here much more attractive to the manufacturers up here, which means they have to operate the speed of business. They have to be cost effective. But ultimately, we want Ohio, these lines, many more lines or thicker lines, so that the manufacturers here know what's going on down here, know what's available, and are utilizing this whole ecosystem.